Will, let's see, what's your name?
Really good.
Willie Brewer. And used to be a
She is she she used to be a nut, but she married a bird.
Mary Brewer. I
Yeah.
thought that's all the same thing.
Well, no, that's Dad's sister.
Nuts and brewers all mixed together.
All mixed together. But when were you born?
1906.
1906. So that'd make you what? How old now?
92 years old.
92 years old. That's a long time. I hope I live that long.
You'll get that.
Well, let's see. Let me do something right here. Won't you? Can you just aim that thing? Let me. Just keep it right in the middle of it.
Oh, all right.
Let me just. I've done a little work, so I've got some areas. Your your daddy was named Henry Alexander, and your mama's name was Laura Ann. What do you? Let's see. What would be the best? You had brothers and sisters. What's brothers and sisters you had? I know you had Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
That's my papa.
Yeah,
That's my papa. And so I like anything you know about Charlie. I'd like to know.
Oh, she went on to tell everything about it.
Was he older or
Five
younger?
brothers and 5 sisters.
5 brothers.
You got that count, don't you?
Yeah, we won't stay long. I may come back another time and get you thinking about it, so you maybe have some good stories. I'd like to know if my papa was about like me. Did he pick on his little sister like I picked on my little sister? uh, yeah.
No, he didn't. If you're Charlie's boy, he didn't have no sister. I mean,
No, he didn't have no daughters.
daughters.
He had no daughters. So.
Five boys, no, 10 boys. No.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything? All right, I've got the list of all your brothers and sisters. I got Herschel Nutt.
Yeah, that's the oldest.
He's the oldest one. There was one named Anna Nutt that died
The baby.
baby, as a baby.
I
You
think
never knew her.
No, I think she said she was about 2 years old.
You know how she died or why she died? Okay. And Herschel Nutt and Charlie Nutt. Did you call him Charlie or Charles?
Sorry.
Charlie. Yeah, I remember Aunt Zadie,
Yeah.
and then Bert,
But
and then
Al.
Uncle Al, and Myrtle, and then Willie. Yeah, and that's Willie Eileen's what I figured out. And then
Oh, Willie Allen, is that your name?
Aunt Bet. I'm calling Aunt because that's who I knew him as.
Betty Marie.
Betty Marie, and Uncle Ivan. Ivan Edward.
I'm an Edward.
And then you married someone with the name of Boyd Clarence.
Clarence Brewer.
That's
Clarence
Bert.
Brewer.
They called him boy.
Called him Boyd.
Yeah.
Who was his parents? What do you
Reckon.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer and his mom was
Lund.
Lum. Okay. Okay, and then you had children. Do you have any children?
Yeah, I got 5.
Got 5. Who are they? Cause I don't
3
know.
girls and 1 boy.
3 girls and 1 boy.
Yeah, it was Lolly and Dorothy and Betty Jean and Geraldine.
I didn't know.
Geraldine's oldest.
Uh-huh. And they live around
Yeah,
here,
they live over there with me.
or where did you live at most of your life?
Well, I've lived in Wayne County all the time.
All your life?
All my life, but now I moved closer to town.
Yeah.
Live out on the Highway 64.
Did whereabouts was you born and grow up, Charlie?
So,
Where was it?
On 48,
On 48?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Right there where.
where the cemetery is,
Uh huh.
there's my home.
Is that right up there where
Yeah,
Dad,
where
Papa?
Dad-
Born
yeah.
and raised there.
yeah.
So that house that Charlie lived in, like that was where what Henry and Laura lived.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he does.
And so Charlie got it from his dad.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
sold it a time or two.
Uh-huh. And as far as, do you remember anything about Henry, your daddy? What can you tell me about anything?
He's just a good old man. He stood behind his word.
What did he do for a living?
He farmed.
He farmed. And let's see, what other kind
He
of?
owned, well, he owned all that land. He owned
Yeah, he
nearly
owned all
everything
that.
on 48 and that
Yeah.
and there.
How did he get it? Do you know?
Well, I know he just got it.
I don't know how he got it.
I don't know how- Did you know your papa?
Yeah.
Was that Robert Sherman?
My daddy.
Your papa, your daddy's daddy. Did you ever know him?
You know.
Did you know your grandmother? Didn't know your grandfather or grandmother. What about Eli Jackson? You know him?
That was my mother's daddy.
Yeah. And that's the one you said used to have a long
Yeah, he
beard
got
down
it.
there, and they got the. Daddy'd always tell me about him.
We
having
got
a
the
long-
picture of that. We got a picture with him, that beard.
Yeah.
What kind of? I know he's a fine man. And what did he do for a living?
He helped us farm.
Helped you. And he was a Jackson. Did you know anything about his side of the family much? What about, I guess Laura Jackson was a Haynes. Did you know any of the Haynes?
Yeah, she was. I don't know, she was a Jackson.
Yes,
She had two sisters from Haynes. Ain't Beth and ain't Fanny, the other
uh-huh.
Haynes.
What about, I know I'm asking you a whole lot of questions that probably taxing your mind or everything. I don't, these are a bunch of notes. I'll let you look at them. It's hard enough for me to read because it's a small writing. But,
I didn't see the writing either now.
as far as, how about Anna Laura Brewer? You know, my grandmother, Charlie's. Why?
She was a brewer.
Her daddy was,
Pete.
huh?
Pete.
Yeah, George Washington Pete Brewer. So you know Pete, how was he kin to Boyd?
He was his uncle.
He's his uncle. Huh.
She knows more than I do about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I.
That's the reason you come over here, wasn't it?
That's the reason I come over here. See what all I could find out. Yeah. What'd your husband do? What Boyd do?
Farm.
He farmed too. Was he down there around 48 Creek as well?
Dog Creek.
Dog
Dog
Creek.
Creek.
Dog Creek. When did he die?
69.
1969. And then, let's see. Uncle Al married Annie Kelly. And Bert married Pearl, Aunt Pearl. And Zaid married Sister O. Hunt. And Herschel married
Harden.
Harden.
Ron Harden.
And most all these, of course, Aunt Bet married
She married Taylor Long.
Taylor Long, and Uncle Ivan married
He married Kelly.
Georgia Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Did now this? How much older was Charlie than you? Was he a grown man when you remember? Or?
Yeah, he was. See, there was Herschel and Charlie.
Uh-huh.
Herschel was the oldest. Charlie next.
And, did Charlie so much older than you he was gone the time you got around? He was. So you was a little girl and he was done up and probably about married, was he not? So he didn't pick on you like I did my little sister. You might have had Uncle Al. How about you and Uncle Al? Did y'all have any Y'all a little bit closer in age, wasn't you?
Yeah, we're close in age.
Where'd you go to school at?
Mars Valley.
Mars Valley. You remember anything much about that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
About a mile, I guess, was it, Barney? Our house to the schoolhouse. And we would have walked.
Wow.
Walked to school. We don't want to frost barefooted. I remember Bird saying, look at Will, what little steps he takes.
Walk barefooted to school, school.
Remember anything about your dad as far as did he ever whip you?
Well, yeah, he whipped us.
He did.
Made us mine.
Made you mad.
Me and Mert, we had to fuss over the dishes. He would divide them. One time there was a piece left, I was trying to make her take it. She was trying to make me take it. He couldn't switch the bigger than mine. He wore me out and he never did get her bleeding. I always wondered why.
Aunt Bird didn't get it, huh?
Yeah, she never got a lick.
Well, and what about your mama? She ever
She was all kind of fetching on us. We didn't pay that much attention.
didn't pay nothing attention?
He whoops you and whoop it.
Well, what do you know about Henry? Was he in the, let's see, he wasn't old enough to be in the Civil War or anything, but did he?
I think his daddy was.
His daddy was, which was, that was, yeah, his daddy was Sherman, let's see, Robert Sherman. You don't remember him, you saying?
I didn't know him.
But as far as you know, you always lived down there. Henry,
Alexander.
about, he had that place on 48th Creek. What about, how'd you and Boyd meet? How'd you and your husband meet?
Me.
Yeah, how'd y'all meet each other the first time? You don't know, was it not no dance or no
Yeah,
nothing?
we had dances and parties.
Yeah. Ma didn't like it at all, though, did
No,
she?
she didn't.
Didn't like it.
No.
I slipped off my
That'd be a good tale if you tell it.
You slipped off and married. I thought that was the only thing like Daddy did.
We ever looked at the boy, she's ready to kill us.
Yeah, that'd be a good tale if you get to talk about it,
Why'd you how'd you slip off? What'd you?
She didn't let us go with the boys. The one we went with, she raised King. Just like fool out there, well, she didn't think he's good enough for me.
He wasn't good enough for you, was he?
Well, I guess he was. He's a good man. He's a brewer, but he's a good man.
You went to the brewery. I know. I got an Uncle Dick that sure does razz the brewers. As my brother about being a brewer. You don't know my Uncle Dick, do you? You don't know him?
Mr. Brewer's daddy.
Yeah, you mean
Dick.
Dick? You know Dick,
That's
brother to me.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't mean
His name was Garner, wasn't it?
one of them's Garner, but this Dick's not Garner. Dick's name is what was it? Harlan Boy. Harlan Boy.
Let's see. I got it here showing that your dad died in 1930.
Yeah.
1930. How'd he die? What?
Well, he just got sick and his head was limp. Had headaches all the time.
So he was about 70 years old. And I want to name some of these other people that's in our. You don't know a Pleasant, do you?
Yes, I do.
You do.
His cousin.
He's your cousin. Is he about? Trying to figure out about what age he was. Was he about your age, or older, or younger?
He's older.
He's older.
Older. Well, there was a Rebecca Nutt married a Dick Marr.
Yeah, that's my daddy's sister.
Okay, yeah. And then Sarah Nutt was, and then there's a John Nutt, John McNutt Nutt, married a Harriet Pogue,
Yeah,
and Martin McNutt married Minnie Marr.
yeah. That's my daddy's brother.
Let's see, I see some of these others here. There's a James Alexander Nutt, died just before you were born, I believe. He had a son named David Alexander Nutt. Do you know David Alexander Nutt?
The only thing Uncle Dave Nutt.
Uncle Dave Nutt? Okay. He was, I guess on the other tree or whatever, he had children named Gertrude Nutt, May Nutt, Annie Nutt, Susan Nutt, Esther Nutt, Agnes Nutt, Willie Nutt, and Homer Nutt. Y'all you recognize all of them? And then I got Pleasant Green Nutt. He's the one. Is that the one you said went to Nashville Sanitarium?
Yeah, Lee went first. Lee went first to the asylum, you know. And then Dave went, and then Players went right on last.
And he was married 3 times. He married to Ellen Churchwell, then he's married to a Sally Churchwell, and then no, he, I'm not sure.
He married Churchill first, didn't he?
Yeah. And then Nettie Dabbs. And
Why?
yeah.
Lazy wife.
And he had a daughter named Vesta
Yeah.
and Trestor. And then
Theo.
Theo, yeah. Theo's oldest.
I didn't have him.
Him, he didn't, him to her.
Oh, what's her name?
Theo.
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 Theo, okay.
The work you done? Ethel?
And there's a Lee Nutt.
Where'd your arm up?
He was Uncle Dave's
Just laying back down.
brother.
And Dave's brother. Okay. What about Jesse Nutt? Do you know him? That's about all I've got. There's a Nancy Nutt.
Huh?
Married to John Robinette.
That's everything.
Then had a
You
picture.
didn't?
I don't know. We've got all kinds of pictures. I've been looking for pictures. It may be kind of hard to see, but
Yeah, I can't see
that's George Washington, Pete Brewer, and his children.
that.
Uncle Al, Uncle Frank, and let's see, Laura.
Yeah, well, Frank, they was brothers.
Uh-huh. So I,
And Bill, his brother too.
You got Uncle Jimmy, and you got all
well,
his information.
no, I really don't. Is Jimmy
That's her
your
mother-in-law, or dad-in-law.
father-in-law, right? Who was his? Do you know who his daddy was?
They called him Dick.
Dick. Dick Brewer. I didn't, so that would be Boyd's grandfather. And Jimmy's his father. When was Boyd born? Do you know what day? What year? What's your birthday?
April the 6th.
April 6, 1906. 1906. Well, I know.
Mr. Brewer's mother was named Sally.
Yes.
They live on up in.
Oh, they live back towards town.
So you walk to school back and forth.
Yeah.
Tell me this, Mom and Daddy always told me that they'd shoe up a cow so we'd stand in the warm spot. You didn't do that, did you?
I left them in all places.
That's right. We just carry a cow up out of the field, you know, and then step in a warm place where we get her feet warm.
Well, tell me, what kind of Christmas did you have?
We just had an old country Christmas, not much, but we did.
Daddy's
Had a
always,
Christmas tree. When me and Mert, we got pretty up in age, you know, we got grown. Pappy took our stockings and filled them up with chips.
chips.
Come back in, we couldn't wait to get up in on there and stockings full of chips.
Wood chips.
Yeah, then he had his present hid. He said, you gals getting too big to hang them stockings up. He got a kick out of that. I still got what he got me and Mert too.
You do.
Yeah.
What did they get you?
He got Mert a little piano. He got me a little bass, some kind of bass.
You still have it. How old was you that Christmas, you reckon?
Well, I'm getting too old to hang up my stockings.
Well, do you remember anything about when did you ever get a car?
No, we never did own a car.
Never did own a car. Don't guess you had indoor plumbing either. And say, your dad farmed. What kind of farming did he do?
He raised corn, wheat. And 1 year we raised wheat, cotton, a little bit all. Raised peanuts for me.
Peanuts.
Yeah, my mailbox was down there close to the peanut patch. There he come with a handful of peanuts. Well, me and Mert, we went down there the next day. We was going down touchdown. We hunted all over that patch. Come back and said, where'd you find them peanuts? We couldn't find them. Or he said, you couldn't get they grow under the ground. Well, you know.
The roots, Well, this is interesting. One of these days I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk. You think about all this stuff, and you think what I'd like to know is some tales about my papa.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if you know anything about my
Charlie.
papa. Yeah, Charlie.
That's Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wasn't Dick? He has a little bitty boy, couldn't even hold up a corn planter. He got me to help him. So, and he's around too now. Dick could take the one round and I'd take the other, you know, to hold up that corn planter. Got to the house, Laura said, Will said, there's a ham hanging upstairs, if you'll go up there and get it, I'm gonna cook us some ham. Well, the kitchen was tacked underneath, and I'd forgotten about that. So I said, Laura, there's something on this ham. She said, just bring it down, I'll clean it up. I skipper did. Well, I forgot about that undertack, you see, and I stepped on it down I come. And then that table was sitting full of dishes. She's so nice, you know, she's gonna wash the dishes over, put them back in the sink. If I hadn't called it, it would have cut me all to pieces, and I caught it with my arm, who's getting was
Laura did it?
Yeah.
Was that when you were still a girl before you was married?
Yeah. I wasn't much bigger than Dick. He cut both of them past that car.
What year did you get married? You remember?
It was 43.
43. So you was 43. You was up in your 30s when you got married, weren't you? 20s?
No, yes, that's 30. I'm guessing it's like 43.
6
I think
43.
that's right.
And now the Taliban also a threat to the United States. Exporters of more opium and anti-American
You'd been about
terrorists
37 if you was there, so you probably might have been 33, reckon. How long were you
They
in?
told us, to take a looking glass and go to spring before the sun up in May, and we'd see our boyfriend. Go down that hill, me and Mert went with her looking glass. Mine come up, and it was him. If I ever seen him in my life, it was him, and he was in the casket. Boy, it scared the piss out of me. I sold that glass down at that hill we went by.
Apparently you and Myrtle was big buddies.
Yeah, we had met to each other.
Y'all grew up together. And you bet you thought how that worked. But, when, she died pretty young, didn't she? Or when she?
But she wasn't too old. She married Homer Tim.
Uh-huh. And
What's going on here?
what's,
This is a gross perversion of Islam.
where'd Uncle Herschel live? I hadn't heard a whole lot about him.
They just lived around home there.
Those opposed to the Taliban.
Did
He lived on the back of the orchard, and Charlie lived on down next to the creek. Ivan lived up on the hill down on the cemetery.
In a country ripped apart by extreme factors.
I wonder how they got all that land. You know?
I don't have it but he owned it. He owned just about all of it, didn't he?
Yeah, he loaned all the 48 and everything.
Yeah. And lost everything.
You lost it or sold it or
He lost it.
Lost it.
how'd he learn?
He's got in debt so much he couldn't do it.
As Henry? And what had their sons, or had Charlie and them.
Charlie took the place. Well, Buck and Frankie got it first, and he bought it from them.
So he got into a lot of debt and had to pay it off, huh? Had to sell it to pay off. I didn't know that. And then Laura Jackson, your mother, she died in 1947, I understand. Anything you remember about her?
She's just a good mother.
Good mother?
Yeah. She was high tempered. She whooped the dog out of me, but she
Which one's that?
Your grandmother, Laura Jackson,
My mother?
your mother's mother.
She was around
No,
here.
your mother's, your daddy's mother.
My dad, she was high strong, wasn't she?
yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's see, what other kind of story?
I remember one time I was teasing her about a man. She slapped the fire out of me.
Who was that?
That's my mom.
Mama?
Yeah, your great grand.
Yeah. But do you remember Henry at all, Daddy?
Yeah, I just barely do.
Yeah, you'd have
Were
been
you
about.
the one that was sick there so long?
Huh?
Was you the one that was sick there so long?
Sick as a baby.
I was sick, and when I was sick, they laid me out dead.
Yeah.
See, now she'll tell you.
How'd this go?
And they laid me out and laid me in that room back there on the other side of the living room,
Yeah, across the hall.
across the hall, and then on a board, you know. So I just laying because my grandma went in there and she discovered breath.
How old were you?
Well, I was a baby.
Yeah,
I was just a baby.
just a baby.
Oh, what you remember about my daddy? He had no good. I don't guess he had jet black hair, did
Yeah, he did.
he? Red-headed.
Let's turn this thing off before she says anything.
My daddy, pretty good boy.
I never give you no trouble much, did I?
No,
Did you ever babysit my daddy? Take care of him?
no, not him.
and keep them close.
I gave Aunt Will and them some lights off the railroad. You remember that? Hey, lights, you know, and they hung up on the wall. What did ever happen to them?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Was it electric lights?
No, it's coal oil light.
Oh,
I remember one time Aunt Lum, they had a radio, battery set. And we had a bunch of us go up there and sit and listen to that radio, you know. Aunt Lum said she didn't want so many to listen to that radio, it was running the battery down.
run the battery.
If you want to hear something, get old Buster Moore to talk.
Yeah.
He's full of it.
Where's he? Is he?
Well, he's in California. He'll be back if
Hughes.
Hughes goes. You knew Hughes over here, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's part of what I said, he's over here.
Yeah, he's over there.
I
He
was
ain't.
telling Geraldine about it, and I said, he's there early, and I know him reading, he's over here.
Yeah, he's in pretty bad shape.
Poor thing, he had a time.
Yeah.
He's already sick.
Yeah, well, he been kind of going down or slowing
Yeah,
up.
but he had a stroke this time. Massive stroke, yeah.
Oh, I've had two.
You had two.
He's
He
terrible.
had a
I
stroke.
talk, I can't talk, I can't read, I can't sing, I can't do nothing.
Well, join the club. There's a lot of us that way.
Do you sing in church or anything?
We have singing here on Tuesday.
Sing it here on Tuesday.
They have church here, but I didn't go. I told my what am I kind of church? I said the cussing in one end of the house and preaching in the other, and I said that ain't my kind of church.
Everyone needs to know about avoiding and treating stroke.
Strokes.
80% of strokes can be prevented.
I never heard of it, many people have it.
To do is
A bunch of them.
about the risk factors.
Well, is your children, you got children? I know they do.
Yeah,
How many grandchildren you got?
I've got 5 grandchildren, God knows how many great-grandchildren. And I've got the 5th generation.
5th generation, 5 generations.
I'm the only one to live.
Only one of
There's only one to live, the whole family.
all your children dead?
Every one of them know it's my family.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you don't lane I got.
I'm the only one.
It's funny we hear talking to her now.
Yeah, I had no idea. Well, I guess I did, but I didn't know that I'd get the opportunity to come talk to you.
You know how proud I am.
Well, I tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to come back sometime when you had time to think about it and tell me some funny stories or something about my papaws or Charlie and Henry and anything like that. If you got some old pictures or something like that, I won't get them or anything, but I'd like to see an old picture of any if you got any.
I think I got some little pictures of him and Mammy too.
I'd love to be able to get it.
Geraldine's got them out there. Since I've been put in here, she carried everything else back.
Geraldine, your oldest. She lives here in Waynesboro.
Yeah, she lives right in the yard. Like over there, Lottie lives up on the hill.
So your children are Geraldine, Raleigh,
Betty Jean,
Betty Jean, what's her?
Dorothy.
And Dorothy. And Geraldine, who'd she marry?
She married Robert Heron.
Hilliard?
Heron.
Heron. Robert Heron. And Raleigh, who'd he marry?
He's been married 3 times.
Raleigh's married 3 times? God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let me see what that is. First she didn't marry. She's a nice, pretty girl. And you got bad luck with the other. She didn't want to quit. And he married her.
These toll-free numbers will be open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., 7 days a week.
What about the other ones? It was Geraldine, Raleigh. The next one was
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Who'd she marry?
She married Carl Inman.
Carl Lindman. And then the next one was
Billie Jean.
Betty
She
Jean.
married Billy Webb.
Billy Webb. I know who all my relatives are when I get around.
Then you find a bunch of them.
Well, Daddy, I guess we've been here a good while.
She's probably getting tired.
And well, I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to you some more. If you think of some stories, I sure would like to have some funny stories. I've got some uncles out in California that love to hear some of them funny stories. Uncle
You know
Chuck.
Buster Moore.
Yeah, Buster Moore and
Oh,
all.
he can do me.
He can tell you, he can tell you anything she can tell you.
Yeah. More too, I guess.
Now he went out to California when Dick and all them went.
Yeah, right. Well, he went out there after Hughes went out there.
The
But
American Red Cross is
Dick and them went out there
sent
after
their
that.
troops out to help tornado victims.
Well, let me get this. I'll take this and I'll see what I got in it, and I'll write down some of what you told, and I'll have